Hi, my name is Neb Camus Sen Atum Ray, and this is the 5th video in the series Shambhala the Underworld. As usual, for newcomers, please begin at Shambhala the Underworld Part 1 and follow the sequence. So the Earth's grid is seen as a living hologram of the organization of the solar system, intricately lined with life and destiny of human beings. Some of the significant features of the major grid intersections are Lima, Peru, boundary of the Nazca Plate, Zimbabwe with its ancient mines and structures, and the Maralinga atomic test site, Esther Island and its megaliths, and the Coral Castle built by Ed Lees-Carnan, which today is located in Homestead, Florida. It was originally called Rock Gate Park. Edward Lees-Carnan was also a Venerian, a Venusian from planet Venus, who was born here on Earth. We must talk about Venus at this point, the planet and its original name, which is Lahamu, what the Sumerians call it, and what they, the Canaanite Caucasian beastmen, say about life existing then. Like what they say about Mars, that there is no life. No, they say, well, you know, there are canals on planet Mars, which means it won't have life. Jupiter has a moon called Europa, which had life. When they say it didn't, well, now they discovered life on Europa. They were wrong, and they are wrong again about Venus. We were on different planets as we passed through this solar system as the Anunnaki. Way before they were, we were. We set up colonies long before they came through this solar system and inhabit these planets. Then we continued to Earth. There is a Venusian called Valiant Thor. Also called Valthor, who came to Earth and lived in the Pentagon. Are you listening? Valiant Thor came from Venus on March the 16th, 1957 AD, with the crew members Donn, Tanyia and Jill. They landed in Alexandria, Virginia, where he was met by 2 police officers with their weapons drawn. Donn, Tanyia and Jill was still on the craft called Victor 1. He made it clear to them that he didn't intend any harm. He was put in the back seat of the police car and was escorted to Washington, D.C. and met the Secretary of Defense along with 6 of his staff members. When he came to Earth, he spoke to Dwight David Eisenhower, who was the president at that time, and Vice President Richard Milhous Nixon. Valiant Thor liked Nixon because he appeared to be sharp and quick-witted. Nixon knew about extraterrestrials, and it was a part of the cover-up. He was not a Euro-American that was tan. He was a Hindu, not a European. People are so quick to accept him as a part of their race, just like Billy Myers, who is supported by all Europeans. Valiant Thor was beige, as was said previously. He was a Venerian, a Venusian. He was capable of reading minds, had supernatural powers, clairvoyance, and telepathy. What struck most people as strange about Valiant Thor was the fact that he did not have any fingerprints and was able to dematerialize or make himself invisible. Now, See that? A Caucasian-looking Hindu from Venus with all these miraculous powers. Now, this is for you spellbound blackamoors who needed approval and confirmation from your melanin recessive God before you would even try to accept Yanun, the 19th elder known as Michael, a Nubian just like yourself, who says in Holy Tablet, chapter 19, tablet 4, 34 through 56, quote, I quote, "The beings from my planet are human beings very similar to Earth people, except the supreme beings, the elite, the etheric Etherians, incarnated into a form. Their height is 7 feet tall. The shape of their eyes are different. They have large black eyes with the white, large black pupils with the white of their eyes. And they also have other glands and organs transplanted into them. The color of their skin is green as the greenest of olives, making them able to adjust to any planet's atmosphere except those with dying stars." Are you listening? When traveling, we can incarnate to look like any beings or creatures we choose, as long as we do some brain adjustments, then become Ilah Mutajasida, or Ilo incarnated into flesh. Ilah. It is when a person is born, an Ilah Mutajasid incarnates into them. As the person grows and matures, the spirit within him dominates his body unless the person suppresses it. Although we act and move as other humans, our eyes embody complete mastery of the transcending of the physical world. One of the reasons we come to earth is because man begins to lean towards corruption and the negative karma we call Udri, or aura of the earth, begins to dominate. This negativeness in the total living organism, which we are all part of different densities, yet in a quantum state, affects us all. In the etheric form of light, you call us spirits, and the supreme beings you refer to as holy spirits or holy ghosts, because we know the formula of the chemistry of the human body. We know how to alter molecules and dematerialize through magnetism, and the tetrahedron science matters at will. By using magnetism, we use the parts of the human brain that are not being used and live in parts of their cells that they don't use as of yet. We can incarnate into anybody we want at any given time. Unquote. Okay, people. So, who here is Dr. Malachi Z. York right now? You might ask. Well, he is either in his luxurious dwelling in Shambhala Agartha, Holy Tablets, chapter 4, tablet 4, verses 98 through 102, or he has stepped through the star gateway of Shambhala Agartha into NIBIRU, Holy Tablets, chapter 16, tablet 4, 136, or has altered his appearance and is walking in and amongst us, or wheresoever he chooses to be. What is wrong with you people? And Ilah Mutajasida descends to this plane, formless in form, a temple of incarnated divinity to guide us. For from him, for like the sun, he is the axis From him comes pure green light to warm our souls and nourish our beings. And instead of circling around him, instead of revolving around him, feeling his love and feeding off his wisdom, for in him we find overstanding. You Canaanite, Caucasian, beast men want to harm him, subdue him, destroy him. You cannot box with God. You are too short. You cannot engage a supreme being who has the power to alter molecules and dematerialize through magnetism and the tetrahedron science matters. They are able to vanish into thin air right under your very noses, just like he did at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport, USA, before numerous witnesses, myself included, in the shadow hour in the summer of 2006. But of course, you already knew all this from dealing with the Venerian, the Venusian, Valiant Thor, who visited the Pentagon in 1957. You and your deceitful black devils, Baphomets, also called Halal the Crescent, whose parents are Tarnush and Malida, also called Diana or Sin, Ishtar, whose parents are Nanar Sin and Ningal, the square. Y'all need to stop lying to the public. Refer to our video entitled Part 4, 200 Fallen Angels, the Avatar, the Pumpkin. Also, Holy Tablets chapter 1, tablet 6, 14 through 16, and Holy Tablets chapter 8, tablet 3, page 783. Do you not see the breasts on Baphomet? This entire debacle is to lead us Nubians astray, like you said you would, in Holy Quran chapter 15, 35 through 43, which states, He Anu said, get out of it, the enclosed garden of the light. You are rejected, and surely on you is the curse, physically, to the day of judgment, decision. He, Samael, Nachash, said, O my Rab, look upon me. Give me a chance until the day they are raised to life to the stars. He, the source, said, you, Iblis, are surely of those to be looked upon till a period of time made known, 6,000 years. He, Samael, Nachash, Al-Khanas, the whisperer, said, O my master, because you have left me to go astray, verily, I will make disagreeable look fair seeming to them in the planet key earth. And I, Nachash, the whisperer, will cause them to go astray into error, all of them, except your slaves, Al-Mukhlasina, the purified ones, the children of Nuabu. He, the source, said, this is a straight path for me. Surely my slaves, you have no authoritative power over them except for him who follows you. Those who follow devils, cherubim, jinns, malevolent beings of the astray ones. and surely Jahannam, hell, is certainly promised to them, every one of them, unquote. Oh, no, 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 my Nubian people. This is our test of faith. We are now being sorely tested, and only the Mukhlasina, the purified ones, the children of Nuwabu, as you just heard, will be taken through the star gateway of Shambhala Agharta onto NIBIRU. Also, quote, and those who tremble at the mention of their Rab will be led to Al-Jannah, the garden, in crowds until they come to it. And its gates, heaven has gates, will be opened, and the keepers of the gates will say to them, peace be upon you all. You all have done agreeable, so you all are to enter it eternally. Unquote. Holy Quran chapter 39:73. So, while Valiant Thor was here, he warned humans of the self-destructive path they are on. Wallace Dudford also called W.F. Muhammad, the impostor, was a Venusian. Ed Leeds Carlin was one. David Bowie, Dick Clark, Casey Kasem, Rod Sterling, Carl Sagan, Elvis Presley, Susan Lucci, Elizabeth Taylor, and the physicist Nikola Tesla. All of them were born on Earth, but were Venusians from Venus. Edward Leeds Carlin was born in Riga, Latvia in 1881 and is known as the man who built the Coral Castle. Ed lived in Latvia and wandered for several years and finally made his way to Canada, California, and then Texas. He was only 5 feet tall and weighed 100 pounds. Make note that all of your great scientists and people like Nikola Tesla, Ed Leeds Carlin, and Einstein were thin people, even to the point of anorexia, meaning they didn't eat a whole lot. Ed was also able to move pieces of rock weighing 30 tons and more because he understood the power of magnetism in coral. By the power of levitation, istafat, an ability everyone has latent within them, and by disciplining the body and mind. He had firm ideas about magnetism, and he said that we get magnets from the food we eat because of the magnetism in the food. He was said to have purchased sardines, crackers, eggs, and milk from town, and always ate green vegetables and trapped rabbits. Ed Leeds Carlin lived in Florida City between the years 1918 and 1920 AD. When Ed went on hunts to find land, he would reject the most fertile, firm land and would continue his search until he found the perfect spot. Underneath this perfect spot was oolitic limestone, which was generally porous and was hard to work with. It was this type of limestone deposited around a coral core that Ed used to build Coral Castle. Thousands of tons of coral rock was used in the construction of the walls and towers. There are 65 sections of stone weighing 120 tons. The average weight of the stones used on the construction of Coral Castle is greater than those used in the building of the Great Pyramids of Giza, while several of the stones were taller than those found at Stonehenge in England. What is strange is no one ever noticed Ed at work, nor is there any record from the time he was at Florida City to the time he was at Homestead. So here we go again. Another Caucasian type from another planet, Venus, with real documented superpowers. You can go right now to Homestead, Florida and see what he built single-handedly. Now will you believe the man from planet Rizqa? Wow, it's like pulling teeth. So Coral Castle location is shown as grid number 18. Earth's grid number 18. The west lobe is what pulled Florida down and opened the Keys area up. The east lobe is the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle of Florida, when active, is a powerful diamagnetic levitator. The center of the earth is a special base controlled by benevolent beings called Donnakias. Whose original home is Rizqa, which is located in the 19th galaxy called Ilion. They settled throughout the continent of Africa and became known as what is called today Dongala, or the Donogala tribe of northern Sudan, and spread as far down as northern Ethiopia. Ethiopia or Ether-Utopia. Malevolent beings are allowed to go into the seas of Shambhala. However, they live in the